Hi, my name is Meg Edwards and I'm a GTD coach. And the last couple of GTD gems that I've done have been on the higher horizons, the goals, the vision, and the purpose. And then I was thinking, well, what am I going to do now? And I've been really thinking this last week about how I kind of want to move to supporting people and finding gems that are going to really help level up their GTD practice. And so I kind of went back to the beginning of the Getting Things Done book. And I wanted just to read you this little couple of sentences here in chapter 1 on page 4 and 5 and see if this resonates with any of you. And David says here, the problem, new demands and insufficient resources. He says, almost everyone I encounter these days feels he or she has too much to handle and not enough time to get it all done. He further goes on to say on page 5, a paradox has emerged in this new millennium. People have enhanced quality of life, but at the same time, they are adding to their stress levels by taking on more than they have resources to handle. It's as though their eyes were bigger than their stomachs. The plethora of options and opportunities bring with it the pressures of decision-making and choices. And most people, to some degree, are frustrated and perplexed about how to improve the situation. I thought that this was also kind of interesting in the third book that David wrote, Making It All Work, on page 69. He goes on to say, the secret lies not so much in what you're doing, but in how you engaged with what you're doing. And the optimal way to be engaged is to learn to walk the thin line between function and form, vision and implementation, and stretch and structure. I wanted to, again, kind of share a personal story about this and demonstrate, I, like anybody else, bump into that all the time. Where, David has this wonderful quote where he says that the stress doesn't come from too much to do, but it comes from infinite possibilities. Some of you may know that I have my sister living with me now, which is really pretty wonderful. And I've moved into not only being her sister, but kind of overseeing her care. And that takes up quite a bit of my mornings and my evenings and my weekends now. In the summertime, I am a big, big gardener. I'm out there all the time gardening if I'm not on the water. And this summer, I really made the decision that I wasn't going to be able to put the same time and attention and energy into gardening. And my gardens are very hard to bring somebody externally in and to weed because unless somebody really knows my garden, they're not going to necessarily know that they're taking something out that really isn't a weed, but it's a new maybe lupin or, a columbine or just something that, I've had people come in and weed and I was like, that wasn't a weed. So I have been spending time this summer getting my garden so that I was spending this much time and now I'm going to be spending this much time so that moving forward, I can spend the appropriate amount of time in my garden as I am with my sister and that I am in alignment. And one of the things that I just wanted to share in this video today is going back to your weekly review. I caught it in my weekly review when I was looking at my upcoming calendar around Memorial Day. And I was realizing that, the time and attention that I put into my garden starting Memorial Day was not going to be the same because I had my sister and I chose to have my sister. And I had to do some serious recalibrating. But I caught it in my weekly review. You don't catch everything in your weekly review, but this time I did. And so to kind of, level up your GTD practice, are you finding that you are somebody who David says, almost everyone I encounter these days feels that he or she has too much to handle and not enough time to get it all done? If you're finding that you're in that situation, right, and you feel like you're overwhelmed or you're overcommitted or you're trying to live 2 or 3, 4 lives in one, to be able to kind of take a step back. And that's why I gave you that example is I had to recalibrate, renegotiate 2 areas of focus, my sister and gardening, as well as some other things, to get back into alignment because there's only 168 hours in the week. And how am I going to best use that time And I don't know about you, but I really don't like being continuously overwhelmed and stressed. So I'm able to kind of think my way through, get more clarity so that I'm kind of back in the driver's seat and that I am appropriately engaged with all of my roles and responsibilities so that my roles and responsibilities are in alignment with my projects and my actions and my calendar. So moving forward, I'm going to kind of go back into the mechanics of the Getting Things Done book. And I thought that I really wanted to go back and talk a little bit more about some nuances with organization and see where all of you are with going back to kind of the mechanics, the control piece of GTD. So as always, thank you for participating in these GTD gems. I look forward to hearing any questions, reflections, comments about this video today. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks. For more GTD resources, please visit gettingthingsdone.com and David Allen's YouTube channel. For more information on GTD coaching, please email us at info@gtdfocus.com or visit our website at gtdfocus.com.